Tell me please about the picture behind you here.
This Formula One car, it's the first time I've done Formula One pieces, and I was commissioned to do these especially for this exhibition. Now, ordinarily I take small objects like a face and blow them up to make them larger. So it's actually a challenge to take this car, to take something quite large and to shrink it, and
Why
hence
is that a challenge?
you lose a lot of the detail. When you take something small and blow it up, you get all the detail, whether it be a dimple in a chin. When you take something very large, you might even get an exhaust pipe, but when you shrink it, you can't even make it out to be an exhaust pipe. So it was very difficult to get a design where the features that were important for the eye to catch stood out, and the colours. And it's not necessarily about making it exact to look at, it's what your eye believes when it sees it. So you manipulate the colours to create an image for the eye.
Can you tell me about the actual practicalities of making something like this? I mean, if you can just talk me through, you start with a design on a computer screen, I guess, and you'll put that into a grid. How do you do it?
It starts with, I would normally take at least 10 images of what I'm wanting. Every image will have different shading and contrast, and it's a question of working out by adjusting the contrast where most features are coming from. It's then a question of, out of all the millions of colours in real life, selecting each colour from the Rubik's Cube which will best correspond a natural colour to create an image. Then it's a question of mapping it out and sitting down, and with this there are 2,100 cubes in it, so it took quite a while.
And where do you actually make it? Your studio? Do you do it in your front room? Where do you do it?
I do it at home. I've created a bench area for myself where it's easy for me to put the cubes that I've done, so I can put them down and stand back and look at them, because when you're stood over something or when you're very close to it, you don't get the impression of the image. It's not until you stand back.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, practically, how far back do you have to stand? Does that look like the way I want it to look, or do I need to maybe change something?
It's almost like a magic eye. You start by standing close and walk backwards, and it suddenly appears to you, and once you hit a certain distance, whether it be 3-4 meters, you suddenly get the idea of the whole picture.
Okay, and something like this will take you how long to maybe?
The design stage, anything from a day to a week, and then from cubes, once this is started, this was 3 weeks.
Okay. Is there a problem sourcing cubes? Where do you find them?
There is a problem sourcing cubes. I predominantly get them in the UK, depending on timescales. If I'm looking at a long-term project whereby I'll be spending 6 months making some portraits, I will import them because it takes maybe 5 to 6 weeks. On a commission such as this, where the timescale was quite short, it was a question of sourcing them in the UK, and yes, they're not always abundant.
For this particular exhibition, you were commissioned to make 5 pieces, so that's one behind us there. The others are portraits, is that correct?
They are,
Yeah?
yes.
Do you want to talk me through which ones they are, please?
I've gone through people who inspire myself, being from England, obviously Lewis Hamilton, Jensen Button. But again, each one has their own complications, because Jensen, for example, one month might have stubble or a beard, and then he might be clean shaven. It's a question of going through different images and finding out the one that's the most central, where most people can recognise it, given a different stage of how